Yeah, yeah, yeah. And anytime that you want to say it while I'm talking, just go on and say it, okay? I mean, it doesn't matter. You won't interrupt me. You're not disturbing me. I just want you to just go on and say it, because see, you're telling God. This is going to be something that you're petitioning God for, because you understand what I'm saying. And so you're just telling him, God, send it on.
Yes, Lord.
The first thing that we read in the book of Leviticus, God was telling them that Deuteronomy is when he told them this. God was telling them that he was bringing them now out of Egypt. He was bringing them out of Egypt. Now, if you understand something about Egypt, Egypt was a fertile area. It had a river that ran through it called the Nile River. And so therefore the land was fertile. It wasn't difficult for things to grow and to flourish in Egypt. That's why Joseph ended up going to Egypt when there was a drought in the land that they were in, because Egypt was fertile. You find that it was the same thing with Abraham, and Isaac was getting ready to do the same thing, but God forbade him, because he was saying, you getting ready to make the same mistake your daddy did. Oh God, hallelujah. But it was now Egypt was a fertile place. It was saying that it takes very little effort to produce in Egypt. Yeah, it takes very little effort to produce in Egypt. You won't have to pray in Egypt. You won't have to fast in Egypt. You won't have to live right in Egypt. Because Egypt is a fertile place. It's a fertile place. Hallelujah. It's a fertile place. He says, and more than likely, when you were in Egypt, there wasn't a cry for me. It wasn't such that you had to depend on me. Yeah, all you had to do was go and said, just move your foot, and the water just came. You just planted the seeds, and then they just grew all out the ground. Hallelujah. And but he told him, he says, I'm getting ready to take you someplace where it's not going to be like that. He says, I'm getting ready to take you in an area that it has hills, it has mountains, it has rugged terrain. I'm getting ready to take you to a place where there's desert and there's some desolate area. Oh God, I'm getting ready to take you to a place where the climate isn't necessarily conducive for things to grow and to thrive there. He says, and I'm taking you there because I don't want it to be such that you think you can exist without me. Yeah. I know that God has put some of us in some places where we're sitting up and it was like, Lord, no, wait a minute, hold on, I was better off over there. You know what the Egyptians, what the children of Israel said. They said, we were better off in Egypt.
Yes, Lord.
He says, I'm taking you to a place where all of that stuff now that you depended on, and that you leaned on, and that you thought was going to be your support, that you thought was going to be your help. I'm taking it all away. I'm making it a little difficult for you. I'm making it a little difficult for you because, see, I want you to understand that, God, you had to pray, didn't you? You had to fast, didn't you? You had to call on me, didn't you? You had to live right, didn't you? God, my God, things didn't go right when you weren't doing what you were supposed to do. He says it was designed that way. If I just gave it to you and laid it all before you, oh God, you will be absent in the service. You'll be absent in prayer. You'll be absent when you read the fast. When I needed you to call on me, you'll be nowhere around. But I'm going to put you in a place. Oh, I'm going to bless you. Because he said, this is a land that's flowing with milk and honey. Oh yeah, it's going to be, you're going to be prosperous. I'm going to do some marvelous things for you, but you're going to depend on me to get it. Send the rain, send the rain. Yes, Lord. Oh God, you're going to depend on me. You're going to depend on me. He tells them that in this land is such that there's a desert over here. When the summer comes, this ground dries up. When the summer comes, all the moisture that's in the ground is sucked out of it. Say, you don't have the luxury of having waterways that you can pull in and bypass my process. Yeah. Don't worry, you can't go ask nobody for a loan because you got to depend on me. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh God, come on. He says, I'm not going to be able now to, because see, that water that's over there, that's salt water. It is dead. It's that, come on. He says, I'm going to have some dead things in your life. Hallelujah. It's going to be dead around you. It's not going to be able to give you any support, anything. It's not going to lend anything to your situation. This was just a body of water just sitting there full of salt. They couldn't drink it. They couldn't use it for the land. They might be able to bathe in it because they say it could have some medicinal properties, but it wasn't doing anything for their livelihood. Because God says you got to depend on me. Yeah, God, hallelujah. I hear you, mother. I hear you. Hallelujah. So here God says, he says that the way that this is structured, he says, I'm going to break it down to you. Here's what's going to happen. He says that it's going to be such that when I take you into this land, that there are going to be 3 different times that I'm going to send a rain in the land. There are going to be 3 different times that I'm going to send a rain in the land. And the rains are going to be for a purpose. The rain is going to be for a purpose. He says that when you get in there, the first time that you get in there, don't worry about the ground. Don't worry about how difficult the situations are that you find yourself in. Don't worry about how hard it is. Don't worry about how uncooperative things are. Don't worry about who won't get with you and who won't come along. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I know that ground is hard. I know it's difficult. But see, I'm going to send the first level of rain. Because he says that that's going to be the early rain. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the early rain. The early rain came now in the land. It came during the months of, I believe that it was October and early November.